Hey, what's up everybody? So, if you don't know this about me, I'm actually originally from Rhode Island. Now, I've been living in Georgia for just over 2 years, and I figured I'm about to go up to Rhode Island to help my dad with his auto repair business. That's HKK Auto, in case you're wondering. While we're up there, Daniela and myself are definitely gonna be enjoying some of the best food that I think Rhode Island has to offer, and that's exactly what I'm gonna be talking about in this video. The 3 best places to eat if you're in Rhode Island. You gotta check these places out, and you better bring an appetite. Who doesn't love a good sandwich? You know what I'm saying? The first place is Jay's Deli. With Jay's Deli, the proof is in the pudding. They have at least 3 locations, if not 4 or 5. I promise you that when you first walk into Jay's Deli, you're gonna be so overwhelmed by all the menu options. They put their menu like on one wall, and then on a second wall, and maybe even a third wall. They've got so many freaking sandwiches that you're gonna need all the walls to weigh your options. They got the portfolio. They got the, you know what? I can't even name them all. I just know what they look like and what they taste like. You're also gonna enjoy about Jay's Deli their customer service approach. And they are very Rhode Island to their core. They're not rude, and I'm not saying Rhode Islanders are rude, but they're just the kind of people who you better know what you're ordering when you get up there, and if you don't know, you can take your time, but just know that there's hungry people waiting to get their sandwich behind you too. All the meat that they serve you is fresh sliced. Okay, where can you get that? It's like a deli that actually treats you right. And not only that, these subs are massive. I'm gonna have to go to the edge of the frame when I describe these subs. They are huge.
It's really gonna be a big debate, but I'm always ready.
It's not just big, it's huge!
Huge subs, so much flavor. To be honest with you, they're so big that if you get the large, half the sub is gonna fill you up, and you can just have another meal for later in the day. What else do I love about Jay's Deli? Well, their desserts are pretty good, so they've got amazing brownies. Those are pre-made. They're waiting for you right by the cash register. Very smart. That's an easy upsell. Those are also huge. You know, you go big or you go home with Jay's Deli. When you put your order in, they write it down. They actually write it down on a little pad. They give that written order to whoever's preparing your sub, and then they give you the top portion, which is your ticket. It's actually a deli approach. Like, that's so cool in itself. My one tip for going to Jay's Deli, especially if you're going to the one in Woonsocket right off of Route 99, is you better get there at the right time of day. If you get there at lunch hour, especially during Monday through Friday, good luck getting a table. It's super crowded in there because the people know Jay's is the real deal. Now, while we're on the topic of carbohydrates, how can I leave out Antonio's Pizza? Antonio's Pizza on Thayer Street in Providence, right next to Brown University. That place is a godsend. I was first exposed to Antonio's in 11th grade. I was either in 11th grade, I don't know. I was a senior in high school. A lot of my friends in 11th grade showed me Antonio's, and I was blown away. I was like, how had I never heard of this place? I had been on Thayer Street before. I had gotten falafel right up the block from Antonio's. It's actually on the same side of Thayer Street. So that place deserves an honorable mention. I'll plug them. Let me see what they're called. Falafel on Thayer Street. We're gonna do a live Google during this. East Side Pockets. So East Side Pockets gets an honorable mention, but not to take away from Antonio's. Antonio's does amazing things. So they've got the Bow Rider, they've got Chicken Bacon Ranch. I made a whole rap song about Chicken Bacon Ranch, and if you find that rap song, it's somewhere online. If you're able to find it, I deleted it. If you somehow find that, let me know. I'm gonna send you a Bless God Bless t-shirt. So I made a whole song with one of my friends from high school about Chicken Bacon Ranch. That's how good it is. And let me tell you, the size of each slice is like the size of my head. Usually I can put back 2 or 3 slices and I'm full for hours. For a few slices, you're looking at around $12. And that's because you're paying for gourmet pizza.
You're going on a journey to places you've never been before, to slices you've never seen before, things you've never tasted before. Think of it as like a pizza odyssey.
Come in and you're seeing all the different colors and textures. You're seeing the greens, the reds, the whites, the yellows. Every color you can think of is popping out of that display case.
Having said that, even though their white pizza is amazing, they've got a margarita pizza that's amazing, even though they've got those gourmet options, and those are the ones you should definitely check out, their Pepperoni and cheese cannot be beat. So if you're old school and you just want pepperoni or cheese, you're not going to be disappointed. I actually think they started it at UMass Amherst. I could be wrong about that, but they do have multiple locations as well. I'm actually familiar with two. The one in Providence on Thayer Street, and then the one up in Worcester. The one in Worcester came later. It's a bigger location. It's more seating room. So it's pretty nice. They got a drive-through. I love when you walk in there, you pick your slices. It's also that Rhode Island vibe where they're like, what you getting to order? And then they take your pizza and they throw it in their little oven. They heat it up for you. And they ask you if you're eating here or to go. It's just awesome. It's awesome. And I love seeing the people who eat in there. You got students, you got people who are going to the club. You got business owners, you got people like me and Daniela, you got my mom, you got my sister. Even my dad likes Antonio's, and he's the kind of guy who says, I don't want watermelon on my pizza. Ironically, he's confusing pineapple Hawaiian pizza for watermelon, so riddle me that. It's a shame. Antonio's is so good. They have set the bar so high for pizza that whenever we come back to Georgia, all we can talk about is the pizza at Antonio's. There is no place where we live here in Georgia that comes close, in my opinion. I've found a couple places that are pretty good. There's one guy from New Jersey, I believe. He does really good pizza, gourmet style. But Antonio's, it must be something about the water and their dough because it's unbelievable. It's crispy, it's light. Oh, it's perfect. Now, last but certainly not least, we gotta talk about Beef Barn, son. Beef Barn. If you don't know Beef Barn and you've lived in Rhode Island, I'm just gonna pray for you because I don't know how you don't know about Beef Barn. Everyone and they mama and they grandmama knows about Beef Barn, okay? So how did I learn about Beef Barn? Well, I mentioned my dad earlier in this video. My dad used to have a gas station. It was a Gulf station, but there's a gas station across from the original Beef Barn. And so my dad would get lunch from there all the time. I used to hang out at my dad's gas station a lot. I used to, sometimes run the cash register. I used to watch my little sister when she's like 4 or 5 years old running up and down in the parking lot. She's sitting on a rolly chair and she's going down the parking lot as cars are pulling in. It's kind of like anarchy. So he would go and get the Beef Barn and it was so delicious. I remember his technique to eating a Beef Barn sandwich was taking his French fries, which, by the way, you have two options. I don't know how widely known this is, but you can ask for them to be extra crispy, basically. So what's that called, Danny? Well done? You have the option when you get the French fries at Beef Barn to ask for them well done. I've never heard of that. That's so smart because sometimes, especially when the French fries sit, they tend to get a little soggy. So if you ask for them well done, it just adds that extra crispy factor and you can't go wrong. Then you take those French fries and you get your little steak sandwich, and don't put cheese on that thing. It doesn't need any dairy. It just needs that little steak, that nice meat, and the little, butter roll that they toast. And you put your French fries in the middle of your steak, you fold it up, you take your aluminum foil, you wrap it around, you give it a little aluminum foil dress, and you start eating that sandwich. Told my girl next year.
The French fries, I always add it to any steak sandwiches that I'm eating. Now, by the way, now a lot of restaurants does that.
The extension's on the 15th, due by the 15th.
There we go.
I usually get 2 of the steak sandwiches, and I get a large, well-done fry every time. I will say, I have tried some of their other sandwiches. The roast beef was interesting. It's not my thing. I know some people like it. It's just not for me. That does not take away from their amazing steak sandwiches. And I like to think that my dad popularized the French fries on the steak sandwich. And you know what they should start doing? They should start offering that as $1 extra. They'd make a lot of money. As far as the vibe goes, Beef Barn might have the crown in this 3 restaurant recommendation video.
Beef Barn is definitely my kind of place because it's not just a name. I mean, it looks like an actual barn. Take a look around the place and there are cows and steers and chickens and pitchforks and washboards. And these are all like real antiques. This isn't fabricated stuff. They came from local farms right here in the area from their actual customers.
When you look at the building from the outside, you think you're going by an old farm. There's a silo on the side of the building. It looks like there could be cows in the front yard. That's what was our goal, to make it look like you were in the country.
When you walk in there, not only are you going to get the Beef Barn vibe, which has to do with the decor. The original location has like a train track up in the ceiling. It's like a very rustic feeling. What's even more interesting and what adds to the vibe is the tapestry of Rhode Islanders who are going in there and eating their food. While we have a preference for the steak sandwiches, I can tell that, you know, the roast beef, roast beef, that's a different restaurant. The roast beef notwithstanding, everything else looks so good, like the hamburgers, the hot dogs. I actually do remember one of the things my dad always used to order for lunch was salad, a side salad with the steak sandwich. That was so good. They have great Italian dressing they put on there. It comes in a nice white and blue cup. I'm pretty sure that Jerry guy on Instagram, I think that's his profile picture, is one of those cups. Also, another underrated thing that I used to get when I was younger, not all the time, because I think juice is bad and it probably contributed to me being a little overweight, but they have great lemonade and I think sometimes purple drink, at least at the original location in North Smithfield, right across from the old Gulf station. But the new one in Bellingham is just as good, and obviously they're doing something right if they have two locations within 10 minutes of each other. There's the demand for it, and there's always going to be the demand for it. Anytime we go back up there to visit, that's like the first place we eat. We love it, and you just can't go wrong. I know that my dad still orders it for lunch for himself and his employees, and they might even do it more than once a week. That's how good it is. You really can't get tired of it. It's just top-notch steak sandwiches. Just remember, you heard it here first. French fries, well done, on the steak sandwich. That's patented. And if they start offering it as an add-on to the steak sandwich, we're going to get some kickbacks. Thank you so much for watching this video. Myself and Daniela, we can't wait to go back up to Rhode Island in about 10 days here. We are going to grub hard and we're going to work even harder. We're going to be helping my dad with his business, getting his online presence more off the ground. And it's kind of going to be the beginning of a new journey. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my home state, Rhode Island, with the state drink being coffee. That's a separate video. Let me know where you're headed this summer. I know summertime is the time to travel, so I'd love to hear in the comments below if you're headed anywhere special. Maybe you have a restaurant that you want to plug down below. Whatever you like grubbing on, let me know and I'll look that place up. And as always, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'm going to bring more heat like this, more passion, more wokeness, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to bring it. My name's Abraham, and you can't spell my last name without saying it like this. K-A-L-A-O-U-N. That's K-A-L-A-O-U-N. Find me on Instagram at Abraham Cullowen. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you on the next one.
As time goes by, you start to realize when you have one employee and second employee that you have a social obligation to the community where you are working.
Probably could have heard that. That echoed through the frame back
Yes, that's very good.
Bruce been working at HKK Auto 6 years, and he has been very reliable technician. Him and I get along. We have similar work ethics. We make sure that whatever the shop and the job needed, we make sure it's done.